Kristen. You're watching Kristen Cooks. As you could probably guess, I do cooking tutorials on my channel here. And today I wanted to share 3 treats that my husband just really likes to have. And he asked me to make them for him, you know, very regularly. One of them is a cupcake recipe, and the other 2 are chocolates, let's say, yeah. So yeah, a friend of ours made these chocolate cupcakes for my husband, and he really likes them. We've tried to do, my husband has diabetes, by the way. I don't know if I just said that. But I've tried many recipes using sugar substitutes, and it never works out. Like, the taste just isn't there, or just something wrong. There's something missing. There's something off. And it's never been quite, you know, what you really are in the mood for and what you really want. But this cupcake recipe is great. It hits all of the boxes. They're moist, they're small. You can do them as mini muffins, or you can do them as little bundt cakes. And they're moist, they're chocolatey, they're just really good. So if you want to see how I make those, then just keep watching. So here's an overview of the ingredients I'm going to be using for these little cupcakes. Coconut sugar, that's a little bit better for you than regular sugar. It has a lower glycemic index, which means it won't raise your blood sugar level as fast as regular sugar. But there's regular flour in there. I mean, they're a little better for you, but they're really good. So let's start. In this bowl, I'm going to be mixing together the dry ingredients, the flour, baking powder, baking soda, and a little bit of salt. Also, I'm going to have my oven preheated to 350 and just mix the dry ingredients together. I like to put a little bit of cinnamon when I make chocolate things, I'd say. I will be putting cinnamon in all 3 of these things, by the way. Just kind of shaken however much you like to put in. And then I'll just set this aside. And then 4 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder goes in also. And then I know I'm not giving exact measurements for every ingredient, but I will have this recipe typed out for you in the description box. All right, now it's time to cream the butter and sugar together. So I have coconut sugar here, and I'm going to do 1/2 cup of coconut sugar. You can use regular sugar if you want to. There's, you know, your preference. But I have 1 stick of softened butter also in the bowl. And I'll just use my spoon here and get those 2 creamed together. And now I'm going to add in 2 eggs. I'll just beat each egg in individually to make sure that the eggs are mixed in well. All right, here goes the other one. And I'll just mix that in. But yeah, like I said, my husband really likes these. And his diabetes, he just has to watch what he eats. So I'm not too worried about if there's, you know, a little bit of flour or sugar. It's fine. Okay, and then I'm going to start incorporating the dry ingredients. So I'll just, and that's a package of chocolate pudding mix. That goes in also. And then I just put alternating between the dry and the wet ingredients. So I have the flour, and then I have 1/2 cup of Greek yogurt, or you can use sour cream if you want. I'm sure that's no problem. Let's see. Yes. And then a little bit of milk, 1/2 cup. Or you could use almond milk if you don't want to use just regular milk. It's up to you. So just alternating the dry and the wet ingredients until everything is incorporated into the batter here. I'm just doing a little bit of each. But like I said, I'll have the full measurements for you in the description box and instructions also. Oh, I forgot to put in some vanilla. Just 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla goes in also. I've never made cupcakes with pudding mix before. This is something a little different for me, but they turned out awesome. I baked one off ahead of time just to make sure that it was right with the flavor and everything, and it was good. So here I am filling up my mini cupcake liners here. You can fill these liners all the way to the top. These cupcakes aren't going to rise too much in the oven, and you know, you won't have a huge mess if you fill them all the way to the top. It's fine. And these are just the perfect little snack you can have. $3.50, by the way, for about 15 minutes, I think. And then for the frosting, I'm just doing 1 package of sugar-free pudding mix. I'm choosing to use butterscotch, and then 1.5 cups of heavy whipping cream. So the way I'm doing this, I'm just whipping the heavy cream until it's pretty stiff, you know, till it almost to the point where it has soft, you know, stiff peaks. Then you know you're done with the whipped cream, you know, how you do whipped cream. But I'm just stopping just short of that, and I'm going to add in the sugar-free pudding mix, and then I'll finish beating those together until it's all combined together, and it's, you know, pretty much like whipped cream on top. So because these cupcakes have heavy cream in the frosting, I would recommend keeping these in an airtight container in the fridge as you eat through them. And then, you know, you just frost them just like normal little cupcakes. And here they are. They keep in the fridge pretty good for about 4 days. 4 days to a week. Anyway, on to the second recipe. This is a very favorite of my husband's. I'm using sugar-free chocolate chips. You can use Lily's brand, or I'm just going with the generic Kroger brand, and it tastes just as good as the other ones. Lily's is pretty expensive, to be honest. So I have chocolate chips here and coconut oil. I will, type out this recipe also in the description box for you, but it's really easy. It's barely even a recipe. You just melt down chocolate chips in coconut oil until they're melted. Just do like 30 seconds at a time and stir in between. And as soon as that coconut oil is melted down with the chocolate chips, you're good to go. That's all there is to it. It's really easy. No cooking, no cooking on the stovetop. It's just really easy. And then you can add a little bit of vanilla if you want. You don't have to, but I love vanilla. And the cinnamon, that's all optional also. I just love cinnamon with chocolate. It just really helps the flavor. It just takes it over the top for me. But you don't have to do that. So just mixing all of this together, the vanilla, the cinnamon, the chocolate, the coconut oil, just make sure it's all mixed together. And then lastly, just add in your pecans. I have chopped pecans here, but you could use halved. You could use like a bigger, roughly chopped pecans. It just depends on what texture you're going for. But either way, this is just a really good little dessert. Look how good that looks. Yummy, yum. We love these. They're so good. And then you just take about a tablespoon and just spoon them out onto a parchment-lined cookie sheet. This is just so you can put them into the freezer and help them get nice and firm. And then I like to add just a little bit of salt to the tops of the chocolates just before you put them into the freezer. It really helps with the flavor and just makes these extra good, in my opinion. I love a little bit of salt on there. It just really enhances all the flavors that you have going on there. With the chocolate and everything, it's just, these are really good. You really should try these. Excellent, excellent. Okay, now we're moving on to no-bake peanut butter quote-unquote cookies. I have just a quick overview of the ingredients that you'll need. All right, so in this bowl here, I'm going to combine half a cup of creamy natural peanut butter. By natural, I'm meaning just peanuts and salt. No added oils, no added sugars, no added whatever. It's just peanuts and salt, and that's what makes it natural. So I'll put that in along with a 1/4 cup of honey, or 4 tablespoons of honey goes in. I'll scrape this in a minute. And then a 1/4 cup of coconut oil. And when you measure this coconut oil, you want to make sure it's in its solid state here, not melted. So I'll put these all together. You can do this on the stovetop, but I'm going to do this in the microwave to melt all these ingredients together and combine them. So anyway, I'm going to put this coconut oil in here and put it in the microwave just for like 30 seconds, stir it, and like if it's not melted all the way, then 30 more seconds. All right, so everything's in the bowl. Just going to put it in the microwave here. I'll just do 30 seconds to begin with and see where it's at. So the coconut oil is just beginning to melt, so I'll put it back in for another 30 seconds and see where it is. We're going to add a little bit of salt to this too. There we go, that's enough. So this is what you're looking for, just as long so that the coconut oil is totally melted. The honey is melted in there too. Okay, and then we can add in 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. These are for no-bake chocolate peanut butter cookies, by the way. And I'm using the word cookies, you know, very loosely because we're not baking them. I'm just gonna put these in the fridge and they'll set up and harden, and yeah, you can have them whenever you want. My husband. Anywho, I think we're about there, and I'm gonna add a little bit of vanilla. Whoop! Almost dropped it. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna eyeball it like that. That's good enough. I'm gonna put a little cinnamon. I love cinnamon and chocolate together. It's a really good pairing. It adds a little bit of depth of flavor to the chocolate, which is nice. Okay, and then I add in the oats and stir it up. All right, here comes a cup of oats, just quick cooking oats. You know, that's all you need. Don't really need anything else. And then all you do is stir in the oats really good. Make sure they're all coated and you don't have any dry pockets of oats in your mixture. And then I will put like tablespoons of the mixture onto the parchment paper and put them in the freezer and let them set, and that's it. They're ready to eat. So as you can see, it's not really a cookie, but it's just a little something different to have on hand for my husband when he wants a little something sweet to eat. So that's about all there is to it right there. So then I'll just take my little tablespoon here, like that much there, and then you just drop it on your baking sheet. And And I'll just put it in the freezer. And maybe I'll sprinkle a little bit of salt on the top too, just for a little flavor enhancement. Right, so here are all my low sugar treats that I have for this video. They're all really good. I promise. Please make these. You'll enjoy them. I guarantee it. And that's the end of my video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I will see you guys in the next video.